Next on our Big 7 list for you tonight, witness testimony continuing today in the trial of Trinity Clark. She is charged with drag racing, a vehicular homicide in connection to a 2023 fatal crash. The crash, which happened along Magnolia Avenue, killed 65-year-old Michael Williams and injured his 2 grandchildren. Clark's co-defendant, Trayshawn Glass, pleaded guilty last year and was sentenced to 12 years behind bars. Now, 3 law enforcement officers took the stand today, including Knoxville police officer Caleb Coffey, who responded to the scene. There were actually 2 scenes to report to. First of all, Glass's car and Williams's car, and then further down the street where Clark had crashed into a building. Now, the court was shown Officer Coffey's body camera footage from when he questioned Clark at the scene. Witnesses who called 911 reported that 2 Dodge Chargers were racing down Magnolia prior to the crash.
I just bluntly asked her if she was racing, and I believe she had said, "Yeah, you could say we were racing," or something to that effect.
Were you all racing?
Not really, but yeah.
Yeah, okay, because I have a lot of witnesses saying you were racing. So.
At one point, the defense focused in on today. They argued that Clark and Glass had the right of way since Williams was attempting to make a left turn at the time of the collision. Now, of course, we're going to keep you updated on air and online as we work to bring you the latest in this case. Up next for you tonight, new details in a fatal shooting at an apartment complex in West Knoxville. We now know the identity of the accused shooter. 46-year-old Timothy Lee is charged with first-degree murder and aggravated domestic assault, along with other charges. Now, this in connection with a shooting at Copper Point Apartments. As we've reported, officers showed up to the apartments around 9:30 this morning, where they found a person who had been shot. Now, he was taken to a nearby hospital, where he later died. Officers report that Lee drove away from the scene in a pickup, but investigators were able to track him to Blount County using license plate readers. Lee was arrested, and the investigation is continuing tonight. Next on the 7 for you, a Clinton man has been sentenced to 30 years in prison for the second-degree murder of his mother. Prosecutors say 21-year-old Sean Willis shot his mom twice while she slept in their home in April of 2020. He was reportedly upset that she took his cell phone and prevented him from speaking with his girlfriend. The case was influenced by Tennessee's sentencing rules for children since Willis was 16 when the crime was committed. District Attorney General Clark called it a shocking crime and thanked law enforcement agencies for their work in securing the conviction. Our list continues for you tonight. We're learning more about a recent multi-agency pursuit in Monroe County that ended with a man in custody. It happened back on August 1st when officers tried to stop a vehicle, but the driver refused to pull over, leading to a chase involving a number of departments. Now, the Monroe County Sheriff's Office ended the pursuit with a pit maneuver on Povo Road. Body cam footage shows officers running up to the car and then pulling the man from the vehicle's window to make the arrest. Police say a firearm and items tied to meth were recovered inside the vehicle. Next on the 7, a man is dead after getting bitten by a snake while hiking at a state park. This is out in Grundy County. Park rangers got a call Friday afternoon from Savage Gulf State Park. Now, the man said he was bitten by what officials have identified as a venomous rattlesnake. The medical director tells us snake bites are rare in Tennessee, with about 50 each year. Dying from one is, well, even rarer, with about 5 nationwide each year. Although you might not see venomous snakes often, there are ways that you can stay vigilant while out on hikes.
Well, it's probably going to happen, but the best thing to do is try to remain still, calm, back away. Don't try to approach the snake, of course. Keep your distance as much as possible. Always, if you're out walking, have you some type of maybe a pole or a stick, a walking stick with you to help kind of move it along if it does try to continue to approach you. What's your surroundings?
And so if we believe that it is a venomous snake bite, then we have options for anti-venom. That's really the only medical treatment that's really recommended as first line for snake bites in this area.
You know, once a patient is rushed to a hospital, the first step is to prevent swelling. Then doctors will look at anti-venom. Some patients need more than one dose, which is not always available at smaller hospitals. Our Big 7 list continues tonight. Tonight, the Knox County Health Department has detected West Nile virus and mosquitoes near Davana Street in North Knoxville. Mosquito control spraying is scheduled now for this Thursday. It's going to be between 8 and 10 p.m. Here's the map of the route that it will take in Central Avenue area. Now, officers urge residents and pets to stay indoors. during that time. You know, as we reported, West Nile virus is spread through the bite of an infected mosquito. Most people have no symptoms, but some may develop a fever, headaches, or body aches. Severe cases are rare, but are usually seen in older adults or those with weak immune systems. Health officials recommend draining standing water, using insect repellent, and wearing long sleeves and pants while in wooded or grassy areas, particularly at dawn and dusk. Next for you on the 7 tonight, merchants in the Old City celebrating some changes to the new stadium parking and traffic flow plan today. When the stadium first opened, there were some merchants in the area that voiced concern over how changes in parking could impact their business and access to storefronts. Well, last week in a meeting with the Old City Association, the city unveiled new changes that merchants say will help their business. Now the stretch of Central Street from Willow to Jackson Avenue that closed at 5 p.m. Friday and Saturday nights will now be open until 9. On game days, the Old City South lot will remain open longer, and the maximum parking rate has been lowered from $7 to $3 a day on weekdays. And parking in the South lot is free on weeknights and weekends, except as posted on game days.
I think in the beginning of the season, people were afraid and confused to come down here. They just thought it would be too much hassle, but it's not a whole lot different than it was before.
The president of the Old City Association said it is the collaborative effort between merchants, city, and city officials that brought about this change, and more could actually be on the horizon.